So, Craig, I hear that Accurate is now doing something called the Pulse Check. Would you be able to tell me a little bit more about what that is?
Yeah, sure, Fraser. So the Pulse Check is sort of an initiative that's sort of come from our company. It's sort of developed out of nowhere, out of necessity for us. So the Pulse Check going for us here is about how do we as a company go through the 5 key areas of business, and that includes all business, but how do we connect our suppliers and us in order to get answers to those 5 key areas, and how do we connect our customers also in that process? So that's what the Pulse Check has originated from, and yeah, it's now coming from a concept and an idea to now it's part of our life.
Yeah, right. So what are the focal areas of the Pulse Check? What do guys get out of doing that with us?
Right. So, Fraser, like all companies, as I just mentioned, there's 5 key areas where all business go through. So, right here and now, the challenges faced on us is not something that is brand new. The challenges is faced every single month of every year. But the 5 key areas is the first one is revenue. So, how do we get more product out? How do we attract maybe new customers? How do we look at new markets? Um, how do we get additional products into our existing customer base? Because there's certain products in our line our customers don't immediately think, Accurate is for that, even though it is part of our core business. So certainly from a revenue, second part is how do we reduce costs? Reducing costs is not about just removing your labor cost and reducing your labor force. It's about how do we remove all the inefficiencies inside of our business? How do we become more effective during our time, etc. So that becomes part of the conversation. The third part is, what are some of the barriers that we have to enter new markets? And not only just new markets itself, it could be complementary markets that we have. So, is it infrastructure? Is it equipment we need? Is it a bit more training, etc.? So, there's some barriers, and how do we break that down? The fourth part, probably for me, is the most important, is the training side of it. Because from me as a business owner, my idea of increasing revenue, or certainly my idea of reducing costs, may not be the same as what my employee would have, the staff would have in reducing costs. But certainly one thing that we are singing from the same hymn sheet is the training. If we could train them more. And I'm sure if I ask my staff, what could make you better, they would say, certainly more training. So that's one common aspect that we all share the exact same platform. And the fifth one is, investing. In how do we invest in our business? So, a lot of people, when we talk about investing, is investing in machinery or capital, and certainly that's a key part of it. But also, how do we invest in marketing? So we talk about this platform, what we're on now. 6 weeks ago, never even heard of the word Zoom. That was part of an ad, Zoom. But now it is a fundamental part of our life. So we've got so many people connecting with us via Zoom. And I've got to be honest, a person who is non-digital, non-IT, I love it. Here is a platform where we are very able and easily we can connect with the customer. We can look each other in the face. We can share screens. I can share screens. We can exchange AutoCAD files. I can modify drawings straight away, do videos, and everyone gets into the picture very quickly. But I guess the real benefit is there's so many people working from home at the moment, Fraser. So we're all being bombarded by emails and telephone calls. And, if I'm out unloading a truck now, which is not something I would normally do as part of my normal, but, we got a little bit of a reduced staff in hours, etc., coming through. Someone makes a phone call to me, it's not the ideal time for them to talk to me about, requirements I need or getting back to me about certain parts that I might have put in with them. So the Zoom link here is about simply clicking on a link, going to a calendar, selecting a time that is convenient for the customer or the supplier, and also of a range of times for us. And then when we go to have that meeting, we're prepared, you're prepared, and we're able to communicate very, very quickly, get to the point, and then we're back to our normal lives. So, the timing is right, the message and the communication we need to do is all perfect. And then we get get back on with the challenges we face.
Yeah, fantastic. Like I know obviously with the current circumstances you can't have those one-on-one personal visits. So this presents a great substitute to that where guys can get on and have your normal conversations that you would
Yeah,
in a structured environment.
and we've built for 20 years, we've built that business on that one-on-one interface. You know, we're a part of your business, you're a part of ours. But, you know, you get the experience of your business, looking for ways of how you can actively get into those 5 parts. You get the experience of our business and how do we come together to be able to achieve those components, either maybe from one point or maybe a part of all of them. But, you know, the pulse check thing is really, I think it's a fundamental part of our life now is how do I get our suppliers, we want to exchange and get into new markets. What do they have? How do we do that? Do I have stuff that I've already got that I can utilize? You know, so it doesn't take a lot of investment from me to look at it. So it's a great idea in order to get the experience of one side and experience of the other coming together and, you know, what we can perform out of it. We could get one silver bullet or we might get 10 gold nuggets out of it. You know, it's a great idea. It's a great concept, which we think we do. So, Fraser, you can explain how that very simply can activate the Zoom to us.
Yeah, absolutely. So for each of the guys here at Accurate, we've got an individual Zoom link. That will take you to a calendar, as you mentioned, where you can then choose a time slot. You'll get an email with the Zoom link, and that'll be in both of our calendars, so we're set up for the meeting when it comes to time.
Yeah, and we're maximising the time that we need to have those conversations, and it's the convenience of the time that we get at the right time. So yeah, click on that link on that, arrange an appointment, guaranteed. You know, whether it's a 15-minute meeting or it turns out to be a 30-minute meeting, certainly it's a valuable experience.
Perfect. Thanks for explaining that for us.
No problem. Cheers.